All right. Happy Thursday, everybody. Deshaun, we're happy you're on. I hope you can hear me. Big waves to you. Good to see you. Yes, yes, yes. So, hey, a lot of people on the move this summer. A lot of people's traveling right now. I've been following Pat Klepper, and she's all over Mexico. And, we got people going every which way for the summer. So, safe travels, all that you got going on, all that you're doing. And we obviously always love you tuning in to the Coach's Corner. So we're going with the L's this week. And today it's Limitless. But before we get to it, Tia is a member of our Coach's Corner community. And it was her birthday on Memorial Day. And we didn't have a Zoom. So Tia, we want to tell you happy belated birthday. We hope you had a great, great birthday, and go ahead and take another day on us this morning. So if you want to take this Thursday too, have maybe 2 days to celebrate. But happy belated birthday to you. So limitless, having no limits, unrestricted. Having no limits, unrestricted. So I got a question for you. Are you a person that feels like you're running your life limitless, or do you put a lot of boundaries around your life? Like, are you the one that is second guessing everything? I think we would all, I don't know, I would say it's a split room in here, but I'd say most people are putting boundaries around different things in their life. So this was a great word for me this morning. I think about it, and it's like, I came across this. It said, living life, like when you live a life with limits. I botched that up when I wrote it down. If you know, I'm going through my notes right here. But when I believe, right, and I simply create a belief around something, and I get my energy level up, my belief right, I start to step out across my boundaries, across my limits. And I say this a lot, but if we just walk through the day where we had the mindset of, I'm not going to limit my challenges. I'm going to challenge my limits. So I think about Billy and Andrea Grady. They just now, they got their RV, they're traveling. But what if they set their limits and boundaries around, we can't have, we probably don't need to, I don't know, that's not politically correct. Or if they just said, we're going after it. We're going to figure out a way. Why can't we? Why can't we? And they challenge their limits, and lo and behold, they're driving in their new RV, right? Staying in it at night. And you go, how did you do that? Because they challenged their limits. They didn't limit their challenges. I can promise you, if you ask them, they had challenges to doing all of that, but they overcome the challenge. So where I went this morning is, what if we walked around on a daily basis with the why can't I attitude? How many people say, man, life's passed me by, I'm too old to do that? I say it all the time. I mean, I'm 47. I'm not 20 anymore. My dad always says, oh, son, you're young. And I'm like, Dad, well, it's how you compare it. I'm not as old as you, but I'm getting older. But I could let that become a limit for me, right? I could let that become a boundary. Or I could say, why can't I attitude? Why can't I run a marathon? Why can't I lose the weight I want to lose? Why can't I have the relationships I want to have? Why can't I go on a vacation? that has no expiration? Why can't I travel and see every country in my lifetime? You know, why can't I sleep in today? I believe if we live a life of why can't I, we start to, through the asking the questions of why can't I, we start to see the reasons truly revealed. Why can't I go on an extended vacation? Well, because you hadn't created enough financial funds. So it's like, well, how can I create that so I can do that? Right? I think about our business. So many of you are in network marketing. Why can't you grow your business today? You would probably answer your question. You're like, I can. I absolutely can. I could go knock on doors. I could go walk in my community. I could go get on social media. I could go stir it up. Or I could put limits and boundaries around why I can't and live in that place all day long, rather than challenging my limits and stepping out and going, no, I'm going to go do this. Because I've answered the question that if I challenge my limits, then I can go on that vacation with no expiration. I can sleep in late rather than waking up to an alarm clock and going to the job that I don't really like. So that's where my mind went today around limitless. And Andrea, I'm going to turn it to you. I actually had another part, but I'm out of time. So I'm going to turn it to you.
Oh, well, I don't mind hearing it. I thought that was so powerful. Why can't I? I don't typically think that way. I definitely think differently. So I thought that was super powerful, Coach. So do you want to keep going or you want me to do?
No, I want you to go.
Okay, well, then I'm going to go. So the quote that I found was, your imagination has no limits at all other than those you impose on it the moment it seems to go beyond what is normal. And that's Christine Delory. And I thought about, how many times I see this with my daughter because she's got big dreams and she just graduated. Her whole life is ahead of her. And she has got all of these really big, I think, audacious goals that make her mom a little bit nervous, but only because it's not in my wheelhouse. It's not where I would want necessarily her to go. And I'm trying to put limits on her. And I think about that's kind of what we do to ourselves, where we say, I can't sleep in or go on a month-long vacation or be a fitness model or whatever it is, because I'm putting limits on my imagination on what I think I can do. And, when I was thinking about this, there's one thing that truly stops us from fulfilling our dreams in our life and being limitless. And Coach actually talked about this on the Chalk Talk this week, but it's our beliefs. When our beliefs aren't the way they should be or where they could be, we absolutely stop ourselves from being limitless. So first of all, we can think, oh, I don't deserve it. And we might not think it in the front of our mind, but it's definitely back here where we're like, oh, I can't do that. Or we think we're not good enough. So, and that by the good enough, it could be just what Coach was saying. Maybe I'm not smart enough or young enough or old enough or courageous enough or confident enough. Just you fill in the good. But we just think that this is for people that are like that. This isn't for people like me. Or lastly, we're scared. We're scared we're going to win, right? Have you ever been like, I can picture this where you're like, oh, I really hope, like maybe you just have what are those little tickets called? Raffle ticket. And you're like, I think that's a cool prize, but I really hope I don't win because I don't want to walk across the stage to get it. Right? I don't want to have to run through the crowd. So, how many times have we limited ourselves because we don't actually want to win because that's scary, or maybe we're afraid to lose. or we're scared of other people's opinion. We're just scared in some way. So how do we overcome that? How do we overcome our attitude around it? How do we release those limiting beliefs in order to become limitless? Limitless. That's a hard word to say. So how do we do that? First of all, we've got to get rid of 8 different thoughts. So we've got all these different things going on. I'm going to talk about 8 that if we can let those go, we can become more limitless. So first of all, I am not special enough, unique enough, enough. Each of us is worthy. We all are. We have different gifts. We have different blessings that we bring to the table. Each of us absolutely is enough. So let go of I am not enough. And whatever that blank is, however you limit yourself, let that go. Next is I don't know what I want. And man, how many times has not knowing stopped us? And I kind of think about dinner, right? So you're going out to dinner, and you guys have heard me talk about this before, and your significant other looks at you with the sweetest little eyes and they say, what do you want for dinner? And you say back, I don't know. And you end up getting pizza for the 8,000th time when really you don't want pizza, but you don't know what you want. So we have to know what we want in order to go achieve it. So take the time to figure out what you want. The next thought to let go of is I don't have time. Everybody has the same number of hours in the day. And I think about, well, coach, you're going to get it. So I think about my business versus Brent Palmer's business. I don't know if any of you guys would want to, look at that, but I think if I could trade my business with Palmer's business, I don't know, it might be okay, but he puts in a lot of time. And he puts in, and historically, like a ton of effort and, all of this energy into it. And guess what? I could do the same exact thing. So if I want what somebody else has achieved, I've got to let go of that limit of I don't have the time, because we all have the same number of hours in the day. Number 4 is old dog, new tricks. I can't keep up with this changing world. I just had this conversation with my son yesterday where I'm like, you're going to have to figure it out because mom can't. Like, this is past my level of technology understanding. No, because this little brain was made to learn. So keep striving. We can learn new tricks regardless of how old the dog is. And then number 5 is I'm the only hot mess out there. Sometimes we limit ourselves by thinking we're the only person with limits. And I look at Will, and I look at Starling, and I look at Colleen, and I'm like, well, of course they can, because they have their life together. I'm the only one that's running around like I got lost on the way home, right? So we have to realize that all of us are flawed. Every single person is a mess in some way. I think y'all are perfect, and I'm not insulting you, but we all have our limits. So the only way to overcome them is to realize that they're there, and we all have them. Next is I don't need any help. If we can let go of that thought, we can go so far, because there is no weakness in asking other people to give us a hand, and not a hand out, but perhaps a hand up so that we can go do more. And then I think I said 8, but these are only 7, sorry. Number 7 is I have to change X in order to get Y. And I actually just heard this the other day. I was talking to a girlfriend, and she started going to the gym, and she's all excited about it. And she's like, oh my gosh, I'm really seeing improvement, blah, 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 blah. And she says, if I can just get to X goal, then I'm going to hire a trainer to work with me. And I said, you've got the resources, you have the means. Why don't you hire the trainer now to get you to the goal? And she said, oh, well, I'm not fit enough to work with a personal trainer. And I went, oh, well, that will help you get fitter. Like, you'll get to your goal so much faster. But then I thought, oh, Andrea Rosser, you've thought that before, because I've absolutely said, well, I'll run with a running group when I'm a little bit faster and can. I'll go to the gym when I'm not as embarrassed to go try to, I'm lifting the 5 pounds. Maybe if I get to the 10 pounders, I can work with other people in the gym. Well, you know what? Do it now. Like, if we go do it now, let go of that thought, do whatever the thing is right now, well, we're going to get to our goal and be limitless so much sooner. So that's what I had today. Only 7. Now I'm so curious what the 8th was. I guess I thought it, but I lost it. So love you guys. Hope you have a great Thursday.
Great word this morning. Great word. And my botch up earlier was I left the word no out. Live a life with no limits. All things are possible to those who believe. Right? It really messed it up when I left the no out. Like limits. So anyway, I hope you guys have an amazing Thursday. We love you. Bill, I hope you made Susan coffee this morning. That'll set your Thursday up right. Tea. I'm sorry, tea. Love you guys. Have a great Thursday. We'll see
Have
you
a
back
great day,
tomorrow.
everybody.
Thank you so
All right, guys,
much.
love you so much.
Love you all. Have a good